So I was just about to go outside. And as I was about to go outside, a whole moment came to me. Like, when I tell you a whole moment came to me, I was like, let me record this so that when this moment comes again, I can watch this video and walk myself through it. And I feel like this video is going to help a lot of people who experience the moment that I literally am still experiencing in this very moment. I can be so dramatic sometimes. just a little bit. You know, I'm a Leo. That's what we do. So as I sit here with my dying flowers, which I'm not ready to depart because I'm actually enjoying how they're dwindling. Sometimes you got to just appreciate the life of things and the death of things. I could throw these away, but I feel like they're dying so elegantly. Isn't that wild to die elegantly? And I feel like you can only die elegantly if you've lived elegantly. Yeah, I'm not ready for that topic. But welcome to my channel. I want to talk about an experience that I am having and I had prior to doing this video. I felt like my lips, hold on, let me get some olive oil because my lips always feel like I need to lick them. I don't know what be going on. Okay, it don't take much. Okay. But anywho, so I was having a moment where I found myself in limbo. I had a plan today. I had a really good plan. I said I'm gonna I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go train my client. After I'm done, I'm going to come home and I'm going to get work done. And I knew that plan was going to work because I set my alarm and I was just like, I worked out how I want my day to look. I was ready. Did all this last night. What ended up happening was, I guess, there were other plans for me because none of that happened. And if it did happen, let me just move that. It didn't happen in the way that I wanted it to happen. So first and foremost, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk to y'all. I'm happy to just have this moment with you. So let's stop lingering. So last night, I could not sleep. I have not been sleeping well for the last couple of nights. My sleeping pattern has been completely off, and that's kind of strange for me because even though I'm not a quick sleeper, I don't have issues sleeping. So what ended up happening was I set my alarm 4 o'clock. That's just my time. And my alarm did not go off. And my client was already where she needed to be. And she calls me and I answer the phone immediately. And I'm alerted like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I overslept. She's like, it's okay, which it wasn't, but I understand that she understands. From there, I was like, okay, well, obviously, me not sleeping is throwing me off. Like, I didn't hear my alarm, and then come to find out my alarm didn't go off as loud as it usually does, which is weird because I never shift the volume. So when I ended up accepting the fact that I missed this client, we're going to make this up on the back end because of me, I was like, I could not sleep last night, mainly because they were so loud last night. Like 12 o'clock in the morning, and they're playing music. You would think, see, when people don't have nothing to lose, they don't care if you lose everything you got. And everything you got don't have to be materialistic things. It can literally be your peace, your sanity, your clarity, your silence. If they don't mind making noise at 2 o'clock in the morning, it don't make sense for you to go downstairs and say, hey, can you stop making noise? Because I have. They don't care because they don't have, need, got, anything. So what I chose to do is turn the AC on, close all my windows, and that AC was like white noise, and it helped me go to sleep immediately. But when I overslept, I made a decision to just accept my fate that I'm late. I missed this session, so stay home and just work. Now, what I have been battling with is accepting the fact that I can make my own rules, and I have to honor myself enough to know that I'm valuable enough to honor my own rules. So if I say,
Shay, we're not going to go out today. We're going to do the work.
Whether I feel antsy in that moment, sit my ass down and do the work. And what has been coming up to me when I have these moments where I'm working, and I'm realizing everything that I jotted down is not really coming to fruition. It's not doing what I needed to do. I get annoyed. And when I get annoyed, it's not even because I'm not making progress. It's more so the outcome feels like it's so far and I had a plan and I finally have time to execute the plan. And somewhere in my mind, it's like the plan is not executed because I'm doing something wrong. So I came to a realization that if I write out everything and I focus my energy on one thing, tunnel vision, I will have everything that I need to get done. What actually started to happen was I kept revisiting old work that I've already completed. And isn't it funny how when we are called to progress forward, we backpedal into all the steps that we already checked off because we feel like in our mind, if we go back and double check our steps, somewhere in our mind, we have subconsciously progressed forward. When in reality, you literally just went back and erased and rewritten the same thing you already did. Nothing was shifted. So I started realizing, Shayla, these are the cycles you have to break, where you get in this analysis paralysis, this information overload, this wheel of, oh, I have to go there, but before I go there, let me make sure that back there was clean, when in reality, back there was clean. So now just keep going. And the reason why I realize I keep backpedaling to make sure everything is clean is either you could call it perfection, you could call it ADHD, or whatever you want to call it. But what I've accepted is the idea of stepping into something that I really don't know, lacking the assurance and the support, causes me to go back into something that I know I already did. I already completed it. I know it's not hard. I just probably need to change a word here or there or whatever. And because of that, it's like, oh, okay. Until I look at that list and it's like, I did not fulfill what I said I was going to do. And when you don't fulfill the things that you say you're going to do for yourself, that's where lack of self-trust comes from. That's where you start questioning, can I? When will I? Am I able to? It wasn't that I wasn't capable. It was I started to rush. Because I rushed, I got nervous, so I backpedaled. When I backpedaled, I got frustrated because I already did that. And then I got stagnant. And the way that I got stagnant was I felt like I was draining my energy in the things that were already old. And I'm like, I already did this. So let's go forward. And for the life of me, forward seemed like such a far distance. So I got overwhelmed. And I went on Instagram and I started scrolling on the reels. And then I picked up on an energy that was really sad. That sadness got me to this position where I'm talking to you, because that sadness made me realize maybe I should just go for a walk. I'm working, I'm not getting where I need to be. Maybe I need to go outside and get some air and go for a walk. And as I was putting my earrings on, I took my scarf off. The hair is hairing. I literally heard my higher self. I heard my higher self say, complete what you said you were going to complete. The importance of silence is you can hear your higher self guiding you. There's no music. I usually have Amazon Prime on, so I'm watching some cartoon. I usually have some background noise. But this time, I just didn't need it. And as I was ready to go, as you can see, your girl is dressed. I literally heard, and I stopped because I was in the mirror looking at myself, and I heard me say it again. I heard my higher self say again, this right here is what you can change. And immediately I stopped. And I reflected. And I said, if I go outside right now, what would happen? I would wander the streets. I would enjoy the air, don't get me wrong. But I would walk around and probably find myself in a different borough. Probably spend some money that I don't need to spend. Probably eat some food that I probably don't need to eat right now because I'm focusing on repairing my gut. And then I would come home and I would probably feel irritant because I didn't honor my word. And because I didn't honor my word, at nighttime, I'd probably try to cram everything in. And as I would try to cram everything in, it would be on my mind when I am going to bed and I can't sleep because I'm thinking about, dang, I probably could have just stayed home and tussled it through. And then on Wednesday, I'd probably wake up and try to get everything in order but I already have plans on Wednesday. And isn't it funny? Isn't it funny when spirit can give you a whole jumpstart into what your next days will look like if you were to continue down the path that you're used to? Isn't it funny how first I heard completed, like this is your moment to change the outcome if you want to. And in that moment, I had a whole flash of what would happen when I got home, what would happen in the morning, what would happen tomorrow. What's interesting is some people don't get this moment. And if they do, they bypassed it. Some people don't get that moment to pause and hear, am I running again? Am I procrastinating again? Am I doing something that's going to lead me into asking the same question, am I capable? A lot of times we know the answer. We're just intimidated by the response that we have to provide with that answer. If I really want a different outcome, these are the moments that a lot of people don't tell you. They don't pull the camera out for these moments when they're actually experiencing the battle of run to what's usual, predictable, already knowing, or breathe and center and push through to the unknown, but it can be rewarding in the end. See, it's easy to sell and talk about what you can do, but it's a bigger energy when you can walk someone through you having a whole breakdown moment, and it's like, this is how I'm going to do it, and you're going to be with me while I'm doing it. When I heard my higher self say, honor your word, when I heard this is when you can make the decision to shift the atmosphere, I realized maybe it wasn't that hard. Maybe I just needed a break from what I was doing. Maybe I just needed to reassess. Maybe I needed some dopamine of getting dressed and taking my energy from hyper focus to like, okay, let me do something that's not so intense. Because now that I'm dressed, I'm like, okay, my brain can breathe. Maybe I can go back on the computer and organize and be like, okay, I already did that. Now let's just keep moving forward. To thyself be true. I could have called a friend. Easy. I could have went on Instagram and watched another video about how to overcome self-doubt. Easy. I could have watched another video. I could have done a lot of different things. And not to say that any of those were wrong, but the best of the rest was when my own self checked me and said, this is when you can actually conscientiously, presently break a cycle that can lead you to a different outcome. No fluff, no long speech, just a direct, this is where you make the decision to say, I'm going to press forward. Even though I might feel a little annoyed, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something different because I would really like to believe that I desire and deserve a different outcome. See, so many of us are so used to staying in the loop. And so many of us don't believe that we can get ourselves out of the loop. Because to know that you can get yourself out of the loop means that somewhere in your mind, you got yourself in the loop. And so many of us spend so much time analyzing, breaking down, dissecting how we got in the loop that we spend a microsecond of getting out of it. To me, spend more time getting out of it than trying to understand how you got in it. Because I can easily dissect and regurgitate and research and talk and ponder and why I'm afraid of X, Y, and Z. It's so easy to do. And I'll actually feel like I'm getting somewhere. And in the sense I would be, but the reality is the biggest stepping out of that loop is, but I do want different. And what does different look like? just doing it. No fluff, no, let's all together now and let's all hold hands. And because see, sometimes you don't get to record it. Sometimes once you, how do I say it? You ever been in a situation where you want to get content, you want to record, you want to call someone, you want to tell somebody, but you're in such an intense moment with yourself that if you break focus of you being with you, you'll lose everything. So you just have to pray, cry, be gentle, talk to yourself the way you need to talk to yourself so that you can get the outcome you desire. Because if you stop and try to get the camera and set it up, the energy has shifted. It's somewhere else. The only reason why I'm able to do this with you is because this is not the first or second time this has happened. The first time, I couldn't move. Spirit sat my ass down. I had no time to go and grab the phone and be like, look guys, look what I'm doing. No, it was so raw that it would have manipulated the energy had I got the phone. Sometimes it's not how much time you need. Sometimes it's not even a plan. Sometimes it's just redirect in that moment. Just in that moment when you realize I'm doing something that can probably lead me down the same path that I don't want to go down. Redirect. I remember I seen something on Instagram. They was recording somebody and they asked, what is the biggest lie you've been told? And he said that it's not that simple. And I pondered on that thing. And the woman asking was like, what do you mean it's not that simple? Like, do you need me to rephrase the question? He's like, no, that's what I was told. That's the biggest lie. It's not that simple. And I thought about that and I'm like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's it. We've all been lied to saying it's not that simple. Why isn't it that simple to, you hear something, you're told to do something and you just do it? Why can't it just be that simple? Oh, I know. Understood. Because you have conflicting thoughts and emotions upon what you're told to do. And because you're now in a resistance, now you're creating an energy of irritation and frustration and combativeness. Now you want to blame someone and then you want the whole world to assist you on how to revert you back on the right path. Oh, well then why don't you just say that? Okay. Because honey, it is that simple. You want to get out of the relationship? Get out. Oh, but you can't. Oh, my bad. Because you're still attached to the idea of this person becoming something and you put too much time into it. And you care about, oh, if I leave, will I ever experience the person that I knew they could become? And if I leave, well, how long do I have to wait for someone else to come? I don't really want to be alone, right? Why you ain't say that? If you want to get out of the job, then get out of the job. Oh, I forgot. Silly me. You can't. Because your faith is in the job, not in the knowing that you will always be taken care of, not in your abilities, not in the fact that if you had put money aside, knowing that this job wasn't for you, that you can have a little cushioning, and then you probably could have started tapping into your gifts and building income based off of how you show up in the world. Why you ain't just, you could have just called me and told me that. It is that simple for you to lose weight. You know what? I gotta sit there because I forgot. Because you enjoy eating food because it's a comforting. It makes you feel good because it causes you for that moment to remove whatever realistic issues you need to deal with and combat. When you eat that burger and you eat those fries, you don't have to deal with the real underlying issues of what you're suppressing. You don't want to deal with the fact that you have a gluttonous spirit. And when you look over your life, you always consuming and taking in and always, I need. My bad. My bad. I ain't need it. My bad. Okay. I didn't know. You could have just, sometimes when we just be so honest with ourselves and be like, I just like it hard. Hard makes sense to me because hard requires me to exert energy, and then when I'm tired, I can tell people because it was hard. All my life I had to fight. All my life I had to press and push and move and chuck and jive and dance and laugh and all my life. So I'm used to hard. It's so easy to say that. It's so easy to be like, I'm used to performing. Because when I stop performing, then it's like, well, I don't know who I am. What's really hard, what really causes you to be in question, what really requires discipline is when you say, I'm going to stop. In all those years of me running and hiding and lying and masking and performing and dancing and accepting and consuming and allowing, I'm going to allow all that those emotions and all that energy to catch up to me. And instead of me resisting it, I'm going to allow it to move through my body how it needs to. However it needs to, I'm going to allow it to move through my body, whether I need to cry it out, sit down in it, dance in it. But I'm not going to do what I usually do, which is run, which is hide, which is have sex with someone else's man, which is spend money out of impulse, which is go out to eat at a fancy restaurant knowing I ain't even pay my bills, whatever it looks like to you. And when you get to a moment when you realize, okay, I can now hear myself, the things that you will say to yourself will literally make you want to slap yourself. Because there's a fine line where, we all hear a voice in our head, right? And sometimes that voice sounds so far left, like I know that's not me speaking. But the more you start working on you and releasing things, that voice starts to sound more and more like you. They don't tell you that part. The more you evolve into you, the more that external voice that sounds so far left starts to sound so close to right. It's like, is that me talking? I know I didn't open my mouth. I know. And then it sounds like you, but an outside version of you. So with that being said, your girl is going to complete her task because I'm deserving and I'm going to have a different outcome tonight than the outcome I could have had I got dressed and went outside. Now, granted, I might reward myself when I'm done with my task because that's different. I did the task. But until the task is done, instead of me trying to figure out, am I valued? Can I? Well, I am. And you can too. Until next time. Peace.